You want to introduce yourself?
So Sébastien Peineau, I'm working with PSE since end of 2020. Former world champion and French team member, and yeah, we're together to develop new bows in the future of PSE. And I'm also a rep, and I'll help PSE to get in contact with shops, whatever is needed for mostly France and also Europe, and in contact as well with JVD and SSA.
Cool. Hello everyone, my name is Gaius Carter. I am the product manager for PSE, which essentially means apparently everything with PSE's logo is my job. Turns out, they didn't tell me that when I took the job. I also run our international staff, oversee engineering, and a couple other different things along the line to ensure that shooters get the best quality product that we have. Welcome. I also shoot professionally on the international stage. I travel all around, shoot lots of arrows. I'm also a passionate target archer at my core. PSE sells a lot of hunting bows, but I'll be honest, I sit in boardrooms talking about target archery more than hunting, as you would see most Americans talking about. I'm a big target archery guy. As more people shuffle in here, one of the new bow for PSE this year is our Lazer X, and many people have shot the Lazer over the years because of its price point. For what it is, and for what its price, it is probably the best bang for your buck that you can buy. The PSE Lazer has a couple updates this year with the Easy 220 system. So it's our shimming technology that you see on our high-end bows, like our Supra and our Dominators. The other major update for this is we made it a little lighter. So it's about 0.2 of a pound lighter than the former bow. Obviously with its price point, it's a lot of entry-level shooters and also youth. And so the weight of that bow is important. And so we try to lower it a little bit to get it to, I think it's like 4.2, something like that.
Yes.
Another big feature that we did this year on the Lazer is we went up to the same limb model as what you would see on our Dominator and our Supras. So it now has a 941 limb, and that might not say a lot, but I can promise you when it comes to our limb and our limb development process, our 941 limb has been in PSE's history for the last 15 to 20 years and has been our bulletproof system and our staple on how we design limbs today and moving forward. For a 941 limb in our company in engineering, this is the marvel where it doesn't require us to do any screws into the end of the limbs. It doesn't require us to reinforce anything. The design of this limb is almost timeless and is hard for us to beat. So to incorporate that at the Lazer price point and maintain that price is huge for us. So, and I named this seminar, Precision Has a Backstory. And there's one unique thing that most people don't know about PSE product and why PSE has a shoot-through riser and an open riser like the Supra. Does anybody know why PSE has all three models? We have a low end, a shoot-through, and an open handle like the Supra. Can anyone take a guess? Nope, got no guesses. So, interestingly, the Lazer, and I'll let you hold this, the Lazer is a straight handle. So what a straight handle is your grip is in line with your limb pivot, okay? And so as a shooter, you have essentially two different kinds of shots. You have a pushing or an active shot or a static shot where it's either the front half or the back half is what I consider static. An active, push and pull, meaning both, either you're pushing and pulling at the same time. So on a Supra, this is what I call a deflex handle. So on the open, how it is open on this side, it is a deflex riser, meaning the grip is in front of this limb pivot, which gives it that D shape, right? So this model is designed for those of the active shot, pushing and pulling. I am a huge fan and proponent of a Supra, so I will shoot a Supra because I have a very aggressive shot. When you see me shoot, my front arm is slightly bent, loaded, and when I shoot, I'm pushing and pulling at the same time.
I just
Yep,
one
go ahead.
second. In case we have a translation problem or understanding problem, specifically for maybe for a Frenchie, I can completely translate in French if needed. So do not hesitate to ask or just raise hand. Si vous avez besoin que je traduise, vous levez la main et OK?
Unfortunately, I only speak English. I apologize.
No problem.
It's okay, I can help with that.
I've tried learning and picking things up. It didn't work. I can speak archery and English. That's it. So, on the Dominator. So we have the Supra, right? Active shot. It's a deflex riser. The Dominator is a reflex riser. So the grip is behind the limb pivot. And so over time and over people shooting bows and we getting feedback, the consistency that we have seen with a reflex riser is that shooters will have what they will consider a static shot, meaning they are either pushing, and this is staying in one position, they're pushing one way, or they're aiming and pulling. They're doing something, or they're very relaxed in their shot, and they see great results with that. What's interesting, and what most people don't know, is our chief engineer, Kevin Hansen, has been with PSE for 20, probably 30 years, literally. He's been with PSE for a very long time and is a very intelligent man when it comes to cam design. He's actually sat in as the professional for any litigation in the archery industry in America. He has been the professional that has been consulted with. Kevin believes that a reflex riser is the best shooting platform that an engineer can make from PSE. Now, when you have a product manager like myself, who is an avid professional archer who shoots a deflex riser, and my chief engineer likes a reflex, I can promise you there's a lot of headbutting in the office. It doesn't, we figure it out. So the reason we have a laser, which is a price point to get you into a PSE, but the reason as to why we have a deflex and a reflex, an open and a closed face, is because one, we like to argue in the office of which one is better, so we made both, and B, to benefit shooters that have a different type of shot. And so when people come to PSE booth and they want to try something, right? If they have all the time, I'll have them try a laser because it is a straight handle and you can kind of get a feel of how you want to shoot the bow. And so when someone is an avid shooter, they've shot a Hoyt or a Matthews or any other bow company, and they want to jump into PSE, my first question is, one, what kind of shot do you shoot and what's your draw length? Because with those two things, I can put you in a PSE that is going to be fit for you. And also, it's already from design, it's going to be more beneficial for you to shoot. Now, can you shoot a Dominator and have an active shot? Absolutely. Matthias says he's not an active shooter, he's more static. But if we all watch him, I don't know, right? So
for me, that's a no.
Yeah, so, and it's, the unique thing is I can give someone a sense of direction on one or the other. Now, there's people that own both bows, and they have great success with both. But I will try to guide people in one direction or the other. So, is there anything you have as to that Supra Dominator laser? Anything to add there?
That was very precise, and
is there any questions?
I agree on that.
Any questions that we have so far?
Pour les Français, c'est clair? Ou il y a besoin de... C'est bon? Ok. S'il y a besoin, il ne faut pas hésiter.
Cool. So, at the PSE... Yes?
Where's Dave Cousins?
Dave Cousins is in Maine.
On his boat.
On his boat bass fishing.
Bass fishing.
A lot of bass fishing. I called him 3 times this summer. Do you want to take a guess what he was doing? Bass fishing. So I don't know. There might be a certain point in age where fishing might be my thing. I might just give up archery and start bass fishing. Personally, I've spent a lot of summers over with Dave in Maine bass fishing. It is hard to get him off the boat. It's got to be dark to get him off the boat. So, yes, sir.
Why did you stop making the S2 cam?
Yes, excellent question. So, along with the S2 cam, we had the E2 cam. So it was S2, M2, and the S2, E2, M2. So,
Wasn't that ES?
no, it was a E2 cam, so it was the bigger version, and then the M2 cam, which we still have, and then the S2.
Yeah.
So, you ready for the big strategy? I'm going to spill a lot of beans. Okay, so the reason for the M2 and the S2 and the E2 cam. The E2 cam was to get the draw length on the smaller ATA hunting bows, so that was just a hunting cam, right? We'll just scrap that out of the conversation. The S2 was the larger version of the M2 cam. Why did we get rid of it? Or actually, I'll tell you why it exists. So PSE was trying to get aggressive on the global target archery scene, right? Let's say 5 years ago, how many PSE bows did you see 5 years ago? How many PSE bows did you see with the M2 and the S2 cam? Just several years ago, 3 years ago, somewhere around there. A lot of people started to catch on to it. So one of the conversations that we had was, okay, how do we get people who, I'll be honest, and you can quote me on this, Hoyt they did a fantastic job with the spiral cam. They did good with that. It spent a lot of years. There's a lot of people loyal to that cam. So for PSE, how do we get people to give PSE a chance and try it? Was the S2 and the M2 cam fairly aggressive?
The M2 is aggressive.
Yes, and the S2 was also
aggressive.
not as bad, but it was also designed to be a little aggressive like the M2.
I shoot the S2
And you like it?
outdoor. I like it a lot because it's a comfortable cam to shoot.
So the feedback we received is that it was just too aggressive for most people. Personally, for me, it was a lot. I was not adult enough to shoot that cam good enough. Laugh at me. It was a lot. It was a fast cam. It was very aggressive. So the M2 and the S2 cam were introduced into the target cam to get people to come over to PSE and try it from the spiral cams. When you go from from aggressive cam from a different company, and you go to PSE and try a soft cam, it's kind of a jump. It's a learning curve, and it's almost an uncomfortable learning curve. So the thought process was like, all right, we're going to make something a little more aggressive, that's a little more appeasing to people coming from a different company, that's a little more aggressive. And that worked, and it worked really well. And while our engineer, Kevin, he believes in the EM2 and the SE2 cam, and so trying to convert those people, we introduced the EM2 cam, which in Kevin's opinion is a much more accurate cam. And so while we had the S2 cam and it was a fantastic cam and people loved it, it was something that we had to phase out and introduce to that new system. And so today we have the M2 cam, which there's a couple people still shooting the M2 cam. We have, see there's another one. We have and you're shooting good too, M2 cam, the EM2 cam, and the SE2 cam. Yep. And while that's a crazy amount of cams to have on one target bow, I think it contributes and introduces a lot of people into PSE because there's all different likes of shooters and shooting styles and how they like the feel. However, it's a lot of cams to make. And so the E2 also phased away and the EC2 cam replaced it. The EC2 cam was available throughout the time of that E2 cam, and while we phased out the E2 cam, the EC2 cam kept going. And so this year, in October, PSE launched the Sicario, which is a speed bow, and the new Mach line with the new cam, which is called the FDS cam. This little guy might not look like much, but quote me on this, when you see this cam and you look and read into the new PSE website and check out what is introduced into this system, the full draw stability, the effective brace height, and the attributes that were taken into this cam and its design and its performance, you can take a gamble on where PSE is going to go in the future. One of the unique things that we did with this, we sat down and we're like, okay, what do we like? What cams do we like? What designs, what do we want to include in this new cam? Because when you have a cam system like the SE2 and the EC2 across globally, it is scary for a bow company to change cams. I can promise you it's scary because you don't know how people are going to react or what that feeling is going to be. So we took in consideration the EC2 cam. It's very smooth. Everyone liked that cam. The E2 cam was fairly aggressive, but people liked that it was faster. There's people that like the S2 cam. And while Kevin, our chief engineer, that's one of his favorite cams, I would like to note that. What we have now is what we call the FDS cam. And so effective brace height and where technology is going to go in the future for PSE. Because on shorter ATA bows and short brace heights, the scary term is, oh, short brace heights, it's going to be not forgiving, it's not going to shoot good, it's, you know, there's a lot of things associated with a shorter brace height. That is going to change, or it did change in October, and it will change moving forward in how PSE and other bow companies and how cams are even designed to begin with. All of that is going to change with what has been found for the effective brace height. So does anyone know what effective brace height is? Sweet. I love this. This is my favorite. Does everyone know what brace height is, though? Everyone knows what that is. That is the measurement from the throat of the grip to the string. And technically, for draw length, it'd be plus 1 3/4 inches. Brace height, string, throat of the grip. That's brace height. Effective brace height. Make sure this isn't like 100 pounds. So, do we see where the cam? Yeah, you want to just point? Or actually, you draw it. I don't want to blow it up. Plausible deniability. All right, I'm going to stick my finger near the cam. Don't do that, please. Okay, so effective brace height is this point where the string comes off the cam to the bottom. Okay, so hold it. You're doing good. You're doing good. Okay, so let's say Seb draws it back. Okay. Do you see where the string would come off that cam? It's a lot more. You can let down. Thank you. Yep. It's a lot more than what it is static. Bow design, if you would look across every bow company currently, the design of bows, they all look different. There's reasons for why those companies design bows the way they are. Full draw stability and how full draw stability is made up of several things from PSE. Obviously, it's our riser, our pocket, limbs, and the cam. And what that is one cohesive system that works together to increase effective brace height. And so you're like, okay, well, that's cool. What does that mean? And why is that important? Some bow companies, when you have the limbs laid back and you draw that bow back, that axle will actually come down and around, reducing, if you were to measure, effective brace height. What we want and what we have found, when you increase that, you reduce torque, you increase forgiveness, and it essentially then increases accuracy. You can then get away with torquey grip, you can get away with the nerves at full draw, whether that's hunting or target archery. The other big thing, my favorite part, it feels like a bigger bow. Did you leave the kid here? Oh, I was hoping you left the baby.
And if I left the clicker, no, I didn't.
Okay. So cute. So, with the FDS cam, you can actually get away with a larger, it feels like a larger bow. So on our shorter axle-to-axle bows, you then get into a 35 that feels like a 37. You can get into a 30 that feels like a 33. For me, who's a 33-inch draw, I can get into a 40-inch bow and it feel larger than it is. What it also does is increase my brace height for me. And so some people on our hunting bows or our speed bow, that brace height is like 5¼ inches. And for target archery, that'd be like, oh, no, we're not shooting that. That's crazy. Well, when you actually measure the effective brace height and what it truly is, it's like 6¾ inches, right? We're like, oh, that's not cool. But if you go to other companies and you measure that effective brace height, some companies will actually have a negative measurement, meaning where that string comes off the cam is less than what the static brace height is, the one that everyone knew. It's actually less than. Well, why would you want to shoot that, right? So if you're actually increasing this distance, so think of it like I like to think of it like a rifle scope, right? When you have your sight all the way in, your sight's here, and you're shooting. Everyone knows that when you stick it farther out, there's some benefit to that, right? Why wouldn't you want to have that distance increased, right? And so that's something that PSE has found through engineering testing and a couple crazy ideas from David McNeely, our design engineer, who's wired for it. And so he's played with several things, and that was one of the big finds that he has found. And that's something that we're going to include into our cam systems and bow design moving forward. And so you might be thinking, well, what is your effective brace height now? Our bows have effective brace height. Our SE2 cam is like 1/2 inch. Our EM2 cam is actually quite a bit more. Our M2 cam is 1/4 or so, closer to 1/2 inch more than what it is now. This cam actually increases going from the bows that it's included on. Our Mach series, so that being the 30, 33, 35, the Decree. On some of those models, this actually gets up to 1 inch, increasing your effective brace height, which is huge. Now, when you have a Supra or a Dominator or a Lazer, and think about the thought of what those hunting bows look like, those limb angles are already kind of lower, right? These ones are a little steeper pocket, so these limbs come back more anyway. They're moving back this direction. So if we were to have a cam that had this type of technology incorporated into it, on target bows with the limb angles that we have, do we know how crazy of an effective brace height that is and what that is actually going to induce and introduce for shooters moving forward from PSE? Now, I can tell you that that's something I'm excited about. Seb hasn't seen it. He will see it soon. But it is something for us to look forward to. Something else I would also like to mention on the FDS cam. Has anyone seen this cam yet? I don't know how many FDS cams have made it to Europe yet. I swear there's some here. We just haven't seen them. Don't blame me. I've definitely shipped some to Europe, so don't act like I didn't send any here. I promise we did. Another big thing is the cable post. The cable deuce is actually recessed into the cam. So it's actually more in line with the center of the cam than what it was on the EC2, M2, or the EM2 cam. What does that do? Well, that's just going to slightly reduce your cam lean, bringing that cable closer to the center of the cam. It's just a little tidbit that we carry forward. The other big one is if anyone hasn't seen this, and I'll pass it around so people can play with it, the draw stop will now have 4 stops on this. So it is, on this particular cam, 70, 75, 80, and 85% instead of the standard 65, 70, 75, flipping to a high let-off mod, 95, 90, 85. Something like that.
90, 85, 80.
I've seen a 95, it's scary. No, I misspoke.
You don't close the bow.
You can draw it down and it'll stay there. You don't want that. You just throw it.
No, it's 90.
Yeah, exactly. Cut the string. Historically, all of those cams have had that little rubber piece that's gone through the module or the draw stop. This is actually a flat draw stop with a little rubber piece that's there to essentially quiet. When you draw it back, it's not a thunk, but it is flattered but still round. The little rubber piece there, while it did quiet it, it did give a little bump in that draw stop to create a softer feel in the back wall.
I took them out.
Yes, and so people like it. So
Yeah.
I sent an email to all of our factory shooters and our pro shooters, and I got feedback on what do people like, what do people want to see, even for a hunting cam, what we wanted to do with that draw stop. And so with the feedback we got from everyone, this was incorporated onto our flagship cam, essentially. So I've also flipped this around. There's some new things. I can't mention one of them. There's a patent currently being filed, so I will just wait till next year, and then I can talk about that later. But I'll let this get passed around. Is there any questions? I like it. Is it about Dave Cousins?
The EM2.
Yep.
There's no possibility for changing the lead off.
There is, so on the specific EM2 cams, if you want to change the lead off, you have to switch the mods. So it's 65, 70, and 75. It comes stock when you buy the bow from a shop. It comes with 75 all the time. But 70 and 65 is a possibility.
Will it be possible on the new cam?
Is it
The
incorporated in
size
the new
of
cam?
an EM2?
Sorry?
The size of an EM2?
I won't verbally say yes or no, but so one of the unique things and why I enjoy doing these seminars is we ask questions. I get to hear everyone's feedback, and I get to incorporate this stuff into products moving forward. I don't know what other companies or who they bring out. I am the person as the catalyst in PSE we could have a conversation right now, and in 6 months from now, I could have a product done and ready. So, feedback-wise, so you're asking me, is there going to be a cam similar to that?
And how is it with the draw lengths?
Specifically?
Yeah. So draw length specific.
No. So one of the things PSE likes to do, and if you've seen, is we
Yeah,
like to have that adjustment. Would I do draw length specific modules or a draw length specific cam? No. Because that harms dealers, and it's kind of a pain to host and hold that quantity and that inventory of all these different modules. And the cool thing with this is when you have people that are growing or don't know exactly their drawing, they can change that right on the fly.
I know, but when you know what you do and when you know what you have, and you wanna, you have the draw length,
Yeah.
and you want, I have a white also,
Yep.
and with the module, I could shift the length.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't fit that quite well as I liked it.
Okay.
So I took the spec mod
Yep.
on my length. And at that moment, for me, it was fine. I had the exact amount of length, and it showed better than with the other one.
Gotcha. But you're liking the S2 cam now.
Huh?
You're liking the S2 cam now?
No, I have an S2 cam.
Yes.
Yeah, on the PZ, but I
Okay.
shoot it outdoor.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But that is, it's perfect cam for me because it fits me well on that length.
Awesome.
But it's not with every bow the same.
Yeah. Yep.
It
No, I get it.
depends on the manufacturer and the bow and the length and your length, the riser length and all these things when it comes together. It's different when I pick this bow or that bow. It doesn't mean it fits me as well.
Yep.
On that length.
Gotcha. Understand.
Know what I mean?
I do. I also shoot one bow the same indoors and outdoors.
Yeah.
So there's some things to change and adjust. You know, when you're one of the biggest things that people overlook going from setup to setup is that D-loop length.
Mm-hmm.
The smallest amount on your D-loop can change everything drastically. And then, so going even from bow to bow, I try to measure my D-loops and make them the same. It is a pain to keep them the same. And so when I break one or I get a burr on my release and I wear through it, I am dreading the fact that I have to put a new one on because getting it to where I want it to be to get it perfect is so small and so minute, it takes forever to do that. So even just that one small thing and going from setup to setup, your axle, you have that peep height. You know, when everyone has that day when groups are just big, you know how I fix that? I take my peep and I move it just down just a smidge, just a tiny amount, and my group goes whoosh. So there's a lot of little things going from like, if you had the same PSE going indoors to outdoors, I could probably give you some guidance there, but when we jump from different models indoors to outdoors, that sounds like a headache to me. So I don't know how you manage that, but hats off to you, because I don't know how you do it. I ran the Indoor World Series last year with the Dominator. Like I said, I'm an active shot. So I tried the Dominator because it was new for us. Matthias was hyping that up and saying you really need to shoot it. And so I did. I shot some fantastic scores with it. When I went outdoors, it wasn't the type of feel that I was so accustomed to. I was very accustomed to that lighter bow jumping out of my hand like a Supra because I had that active shot. And so I went back to the Supra. I told him, you're right, it's a great bow. However, I'm still very much a Supra person. And so I will let Matthias wave the Dominator flag and I will wave the Supra flag. And so that's where that paused for me. But she doesn't need it. She's fine. She shoots a recurve.
For now.
For now. No, she won't shoot a compound, I promise. Questions?
No, just a quick reply. First question and reply. What's your setup? Shooting a Supra X with EM2 or a Duo? Supra X 37? 40?
Do we have modules?
I can make you try a 70% if you want. When you're done shooting, you shoot tonight or tomorrow?
With me. 7 a.m.
Well, I won't be there at 7. That's a no-go, sorry, but you can swing by when you're done. You can swing by and I'll come with you and let you try a 70%.
Any other questions? Does anyone have a particular bow that they want to try?
I have an idea, I like the Supra E40,
Yeah?
EM2. The great thing on it is the draw cycle is very smooth, and it's giving a lot of women who shooting that a huge advantage. They can higher their poundage, and that's a really good thing for women who can't shoot that heavy bows.
Yep, agree.
Yep. So, quick example in my club. Little problem when a woman bought a Duo 38 M2. It was a big mistake. She probably didn't give all the informations, okay? And she was able to draw barely 45 to 46 pounds with that M2 because of the draw cycle that was really different before compared to the bow she had before. And I let her try one of my Duo with EM2. She's shooting 53 right now. And that's a huge difference. And last year, I had an elbow. Sorry?
For sure, and grouping on windy weather.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Last year I had an elbow surgery. The first bow I took was Duo 38 with EM2. Just lower down the poundage. It was kind of painful for me to start at 50. Just for my mind, you know. But the EM2 is really, really soft on the draw cycle, and for my draw length at least, it works really well for that. I'm also a huge fan of the SE2. For me, it's really the softest cam we have, but I'm really at the beginning of the cam because I have 27 and a half, 3/4. So I'd rather shoot the EM2, and I like the draw cycle way more.
So the new cam is similar to the EM2, or it will be harder like the M2.
I am going to go towards, for target cams, the direction is shooter experience. So it won't be that aggressive anymore. So I would kind of like the S2, M2, E2 question. That was a phase gate that we tried to get people into PSE to try it, right? Now we can kind of lengthen our stride a little bit when it comes to the accuracy of our cams and more shooter experience. That FDS cam that's coming around, and you'll see it here soon, that cam, when it comes to the American market, you can actually, people are able to shoot that cam at a lower poundage with the same speed as they would get, like a 5-pound difference, right? So they're able to shoot it down, but it is still a smooth cam. I want, in a target cam, I want string tension first off. So if we're to talk about target cam things, big thing I want string tension. You'll see, and you can walk around to different bow companies. You can take their target bow and you'll feel like when you're just tapping it, you can feel the string tension is very loose. I want there to be string tension, right? That's important for knock fit. That's important for at the shot when that knock is coming off the string. You want it to be taut. You want it to be snappy right here. For a target cam, we also want it to be smooth, right? We're shooting this, well, lightweight. I shoot like 57 pounds. That's as most as I'll go indoors for target archery, that's it. I want that to be smooth, right? I'm shooting there, you know, several hundred arrows a day. I want to enjoy that. I don't want that to be miserable for me, right? Like I want this to be fun. So then when I get back to the back wall, I personally, I don't want a rock solid wall, and I don't want it to be squishy either. But you want to have some little bit of give from the moments that you are shaky. It's the first end at the JVD Open. There's a little bit to it. You want to be able to give a little bit of pressure into that to where you're able to take that shaky pin, add some pressure, and it gets a little tighter, right? That's what we want. We want to be able to push a little bit into that. We don't want it to be soft where it's like you push into it, it gets wavy, or when it's a hard wall and you push into it, it gets bouncy and it bounces all over the place. So there's a fine line there with what you want in that target cam. And then when I release that arrow, I want it to go in the middle. And then I want to go in the middle again and again. So when it comes to a target cam, and to answer your question, those are the things that I look for in a target cam. And so those are the things that will be achieved in that new system. Will it be an array of cams like it is currently? Probably not. It won't be 3 cams to pick from. They'll be a little more aligned with what you're holding in your hands. But it won't be necessarily a speed cam or anything like that. So we care about the end result, and that's middle. So good question. I'm assuming everyone in here shoots a Supra.
Avec la nouvelle cam, ça agrandit ton arc. Là, sur les 40, en fait, on a 116 de grandeur, 116 cm.
Tu parles longueur totale hors tout? Il va pas y
avec la nouvelle cam, ça devrait rajouter des centimètres, non?
Va pas y avoir grand chose. J'ai pas. Alors, je la vois en même temps que vous.
Ouais.
Donc, pour les mesures, il va falloir patienter un petit peu, mais il va pas y avoir grande différence là-dessus. Je vais comparer avec une SE2. Il y aura peut-être 1 cm, 1 cm et demi, mais pas beaucoup plus.
Ouais,
Pas beaucoup plus. Il y a un léger. L'endroit où tu mets ton axe, il est légèrement en dessous du centre. Il va pas y avoir grande différence. Par contre, la grosse différence, elle va être sur le banc effectif de l'arc à pleine allonge. Là, tu vas gagner beaucoup par rapport à... Tu tires la SE2, toi?
M2.
M2, ça va être un gros gap sur par rapport à la M2. Et ça va être beaucoup plus soft, tout en ayant cette rapidité quand même. You get it? Absolutely
I
not.
was trying. I think I got him too.
Yeah.
No? You got any questions? Nothing? Have you learned anything interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right.
I
It's
would
more
like
than
to
just-
try one, but
You can try one.
is that possible?
Yeah. We have a bunch of them in the booth. We have an arrow, we have a release. If you'd like to try them, take your draw length, figure it out. And that's obviously open to everyone here. If you would like to try a PSE, if there's something in particular myself, Seb, or one of the few people in our booth can help. So you can try one. Question?
Just a general question.
Yeah.
What's your opinion to remove the string stuff from the counterpart?
All right. We got an hour, right?
Both sounds like
Yes. So my bow is very loud. I understand this. Casey yells at me often because my bow scares her.
Well done.
I take the string stop out for, I'm going to say one reason. So I do a thing what is called line tuning. And this line tuning is something I do outdoors. I will shoot at like a piece of electrical tape at 100 or 80 yards. And I will make minor rest adjustments to get that to work, right? And so what I'm looking for is I want all of my, and literally it's just a line. I want all of my arrows to make a flat line where I can lay an arrow across it. And that is my tune. I don't care about bare shaft. I don't care about what it looks like through paper. I don't care about any of that. Why? Because I want my arrows to group, hit the line that I'm aiming at. And so I have to be very honest with myself. Did I or did I not break that shot on the line? Right? And so I'm not joking. There's little rest adjustments that you can make that'll get those arrows to make a straight line. They can go from like this all over the place to like that, if you're honest with yourself and you shoot good shots. So for the string stop, what I will do at 30 yards is I would go and draw just a line on the target, and I will shoot at that line. And so I take like a credit card, room key, whatever, and I will put it in between the string stop and the string. And I will essentially walk it back to where I will go from one card space between, it's like right now it's touching. I think factory we're doing them where it's just barely touching. I will move it to where it's just a little bit of room in between a card. And then I'll go a little more and a little more. And I'm walking this back, and you can go up to a 1/2 inch. And what I'm looking for is I want all of those arrows to hit the line. And again, it's key that you're honest with yourself. Did you or did you not break that shot on the line? Because this is crucial. You shoot 3 arrows and see where it's at. And what I found when I'm shooting those shots, I can get all of my arrows to consistently hit the line in the same spot when I take the string stop out. And you're like, okay, why is that? Seb likely probably won't have this problem because Seb, I have a very long draw length. My draw length is 33 inches, which is a 40-inch Super with SE2 cams. That string is flying at like 7,000 miles an hour, hits that string stop, the peep's wobbling, there's a whole lot going on. It's very violent at my shot. So I have variance there. Now it's something that everyone can try. At your local club at your 20-yard range, draw a line and shoot at it, and maybe move that string stop in a little bit. Companies include it because it's dampening, it is consistent, but sometimes with your setup, your P-pipe, D-loop, all of that, you could have little inconsistencies. It's very minute, but you can actually work this through and see, and at some point you'll work this back and maybe it's a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch. If you're past 1/2 inch, the string stops doing you no good and you might as well take it out. I just happen to find that my bow and me work together better without a string stop. Is it scary when I shoot it? Yeah, I mean, I'm a 33-inch draw. It doesn't matter what bow it is, it's going to be very loud without a string stop because there is nothing stopping it. And if you'll see on my cable, and I don't have my bow in the booth, but tomorrow it will be, you'll see where my peep crashes into my cable because I take that out. That is a risk I am willing to take to hit the middle. If I have to reserve my cable, I will. I have had to put like a shrink wrap tubing on there to kind of stop it, and I've had to stack it up and then serve over the shrink wrap. It's been a process, but I do take it out. Do I recommend it? No, but do I recommend that everyone does their due diligence and try that little thing? Yeah, absolutely. Because it might be the difference of me shooting my 600 a day or a 599 like I did. And it's very small, but it's something that I would advocate that everyone tries, because when you're shooting every day and this is something that you want to take to the next level and you want to get better, you have the high-end equipment, you want to get better scores, it's the little details that you can work on and be better at and win in those little small victories. The other reason why I would say you do it is because when you're working on something so small, you're working with your bow, you're building confidence in your bow, you know your bow better than anyone else. And I will be honest, when I started at a young age working on my own stuff and trying to work and find these little things out, I became very confident in my equipment and I ended up shooting better scores. So, very good question. It is loud, I'm sorry, it scares you.
Problem for the bow on time that it's for cams or limbs.
So what was your question? I'm sorry.
Removing the string stop.
If you remove the string stop, it's not a problem for the cams.
No.
On time. No.
Nope, not at all. Nope, doesn't bother them. It might make you ask why we do include it. Because I mean it's because I'm a very large draw length that I do take it out. But good question. Well, thank you. Yes, sir.
J'ai vu qu'il y en a qui retiraient le stop cord.
Oui.
Il est où l'intérêt?
Donc c'est exactement ce qu'il vient d'expliquer. Et selon les allonges, tu auras peut-être le problème ou pas. Ce qu'il expliquait, donc, c'est que sur sa manière de régler son arc, là, sans plume ou tout ça, il s'en fiche. Le test papier, tout ça, ça ne l'intéresse pas. Il se met à, on va dire, à 75, entre 75 et 85 mètres. Il met une petite bande de papier assez fine. Il est très exigeant avec lui-même sur le fait qu'il arrive à tirer sa flèche en la visant bien correctement, si elle n'est pas lâchée trop haute ou trop basse. Et en fait, ce qu'il souhaite, c'est vraiment avoir une ligne toute droite avec toutes les flèches qu'il a tirées. Et c'est sa manière de régler ses arcs. La raison pour laquelle il a retiré le stop cord, c'est qu'il, de par sa très grande allonge, il a 33 pouces d'allonge. Moi, c'est un souci que j'ai pas à mon allonge. C'était assez inconsistant au niveau des réglages. Et en fait, il reculait légèrement. Ce qu'il expliquait avec la carte, il reculait légèrement le stop cord au fur et à mesure. Mais tu vois, au début de l'épaisseur d'une carte bleue, il reculait, et il regardait les modifications qu'il pouvait y avoir. Et même si les flèches étaient vraiment bien tirées, vraiment bien visées, il voyait qu'il y avait des petits écarts. Et au fur et à mesure, en le reculant, il a vu qu'il était à plus d'un demi-pouce de la corde, et donc que ça servait plus à rien, et donc il l'a enlevé. C'est pour ça qu'il expliquait que son arc était très bruyant.
No.
Et je te confirme, il est extrêmement bruyant. Voilà.
The reasons we have played with that, big cams on a laser platform like that, you get heavy oscillations with a very tall cam. So the laser and that NF cam are designed together. So, good question.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you put two string stops on, like one on top and one on the bottom? Because my guess is like the only string stop at the bottom is pulling the knock point down as it's hitting it now.
Yes, so something else, or you could put, like if you look at my bow, there's actually one speed knock on the bottom. And it happens to only be, as far as weights, just one on the bottom. Is that equal effort for the peep? Really what that comes from is the peep on its oscillations. So when that bow lets out and it starts to travel forward, that peep has some weight to it. And so it is lagging behind and that string's picking up. The top cam is having to do more work than the bottom cam, right? And so you have this bottom cam driving slightly forward, and that's just, this cam's having to work up, this cam's working down, so it's got a little more speed to it. That peep's kind of slow, so as it's traveling, you have a whipping effect. Do I think under 30 inches it's a major problem? No. I am very much an anomaly in the sense that I'm 33 inches, and that's a lot of things go crazy at my draw length, so that's, yeah, it's a little bit different. But two string stops, I would argue you just take out the one. That's what I'm doing. But good question, yeah.
We are...
Noise is still there.
So here's why I like the noise and why I tell Casey to hush, because it does scare a little bit. I like feedback. So I like when the bow vibrates. I like the bow when it launches out of my hand. I like the noise. I like the sound. I like all of it. Because when I am working through my mental process in my shot, part of those things that I feel, I can create that in my process at home or on the range or when my eyes are closed and I'm trying to think of what the task I have at hand, that's something I can incorporate into what I'm doing. If the bow was quiet and it sat in my hand on the shot, there's not a whole lot I can build as far as momentum. So I like the noise.
That's so shooted to shoot today.
You're starting to sound like Dave Cousins.
Isn't that funny?
Explanation as he gives us.
Okay.
Without
Good.
the bass fish.
Mm-hmm.
Like without the bass fish, you sound like.
Yeah. So actually several summers, for probably 3 years or so, I spent a week with him every year bass fishing.
1 week.
For a whole week of the summer, for like 3 summers in a row. Just go up there and fish the whole time.
But last year we stayed together and then we took out my bow stop.
Yeah.
Some my rubbers in the
Yep.
mix. And it's more aggressive for me.
Mhm.
I put everything back. My grouping is also better.
Mhm.
So I have 28 drawing.
Yep.
So for me it's better now when I bring it back in. So it depends, I think, from shooter to shooter.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I can understand if you have a long range.
Mhm.
It's not so easy for you.
Absolutely.
But I tried it, so you should try it. Then you know what's happening.
Yeah. It gives it a different feel, right? And so like Seb has his dampeners in his bow and I take all of mine off. So it's just another feel thing where you can customize that system to you. So any
We
other
are-
questions?
With our normal draw length, we are avoiding a lot of problem. Yeah.
Don't be my
Sébastien, what's normal?
Possible to change
28, 29, we're good. We're good.
to this one.
Sorry, guys, I had to do it.
yeah. It would this cam on that bow would be like 36 inches.
Okay.
It'd be too big. So it would be a very big one. So that's why JP Bolsch, Big Bolsch from France, he shoots the EC cam on his Supra, and that he's actually shooting in the middle of the cam because it's so large. So cool, awesome. Thank you.